My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. Hit subscribe right now. All of this is taking place all at once. The facade, the charade, the theater regarding the Clinton email probe and the Mueller probe, and the nonsense, the ridiculous conspiracy theory that Trump worked with Russia to defeat Clinton. I was saying in 2015 in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon, and I even stated this on CNN and MSNBC, that Clinton could not win. And that the only hope for Democrats was anyone not named Clinton. Then I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Now I'm voting for Trump 2020 because the DNC, peacefully and politically, there needs to be some kind of political and peaceful retribution. You cannot blame Russia, and you cannot allow Hillary Clinton to transfer top-secret intelligence from Cybernet, JWICs, and SCIFs. And you can't allow McCabe to alter FBI 302s to frame and hurt a man like General Michael Flynn. You can't allow James Comey to simply compile all this evidence of criminal wrongdoing and say, she didn't mean to do it. And even the IG report, the other day, the draft of it stated that he circumvented, or he was insubordinate, and he circumvented his superiors. But hit subscribe right now. All of this is coming to one logical conclusion. The Democratic Party is a giant dumpster fire. DOJ reneges commitment to provide Trump-Russia docs to Congress. So they've postponed the IG report. The IG report was supposed to be June 11th. Now it's June 14th, with June 18th being the actual testimony of Michael Horowitz. Now you have a situation where the DOJ won't give the information that's been subpoenaed by Congress. So it's never ending. It is never ending. There's always this is Sarah Carter, DOJ reneges on commitment to provide Trump-Russia docs to Congress. It's just always this non-stop covering their behinds. And all of this would be alleviated. We could go back to normality as a country, or at least a political system that functions. Once Clinton gets indicted for the crimes she actually committed. So I was saying the Alwans were going to ask for plea deals. I was saying McCabe's going to flip and sing like Celine Dion, ask for a plea deal or immunity deal, both of them. I was saying Clinton could not win. I was saying a whole bunch of things that eventually turned out to be true. That nobody was saying when I was explaining why that's the reality. Trump Russia, from the moment the Steele dossier was published, the moment I said it was a gossip garbage document, now BuzzFeed is suing the DNC. Generally, things that I've said have turned out. I had no idea that Bernie would be cheated to the extent he was. And I had no idea that the FBI, under Peter Strzok, who deleted 5 references to gross negligence, wrote a text message. We can't take the risk of Trump becoming president. We have to engage in an insurance policy. This is even before Trump won. They were going ahead and covering their behinds even before Trump won. They were engaging in all of this. In 2015, they flew to London. McCabe, Strzok, Brennan, CIA Brennan, John O'Brennan. One day I'll do his imitation again, or impression. But let me just read you this. So the DOJ basically said, no, we're not going to give you all the documents you want. Why? Because of course it implicates the Department of Justice. DOJ reneges commitment to provide Trump-Russia docs to Congress. DOJ plans next meeting during opening of North Korea summit. Yeah, okay. The Department of Justice reneged on a commitment to provide access to documents they promised to congressional lawmakers by Thursday morning. Instead, DOJ issued a press release after midnight suggesting they will only meet with a group of select lawmakers to discuss the matter on the same day the North Korean summit opens in Singapore. They want it buried in the news. That's their whole thing. They want it buried in the news. Moreover, the Department of Justice also issued new stipulations for briefing congressional members and limiting the meeting with only the Gang of Eight, which is comprised of 8 leaders within Congress who are briefed on classified intelligence matters. What about the lowly American people? Do we get a say in anything? No. What about us? What about the American people? This is yet another line of obfuscation, stonewalling, and delay of tactics by the DOJ. These sources claim that briefing Gang of Eight lawmakers restricts the dissemination and discussion of the document that will be taken for review. Although the DOJ contends the documents are highly sensitive material, of course everything is highly sensitive, except the Special Access Program intelligence, apparently, on Clinton's once unencrypted server. That's okay. Whenever we have to wait for documents from the FBI or the DOJ or the CIA, it's, highly redacted, highly sensitive, it's national security, then why didn't you care about Clinton's once unencrypted server? All of this is about Clinton's server that she utilized to hide her Clinton Foundation emails. I explained that in Butthurt top secret emails and Butthurt deleted emails. There are people within the United States government who've already read Butthurt top secret emails. And I know a Trump advisor has already read Butthurt top secret emails. So I explain exactly the risk and damage to national security. It's already been damage to national security. She had information on Benghazi, CIA agent names. She had drone strikes. She had North Korean nuclear facility maps, national geospatial maps. She had a whole bunch of special access program intelligence. Could be anything from submarines to nuclear signals intelligence. Everything. Anyway. For a while, it seems the DOJ was complying. Congressional sources say it means that the documents provided may be highly redacted. There are over 1 million documents that are requested, by the way, regarding all of this. Congress has only seen about 3,000 to 4,000. There are 1 million. Representative Ron DeSantis told this reporter that the DOJ's failure to produce documents has put both Congress and the American people in a seemingly never-ending predicament that does more harm than good for the nation. It's the same old games, and Congress is facilitating this behavior by continuing this back and forth with the Justice Department, said DeSantis. So, look, like I've always said, it's almost kind of a good thing, and I'll explain why. It's almost kind of a good thing because when you drag out the process, well, it's not a good thing, but I guess the silver lining, I should say, is you drag out the process and you simply go ahead and understand that Sessions wants political will. He wants political momentum. More Republicans in Congress need to be outraged over this. Sessions is not going to act, whether it's a special counsel or indicting anyone, McCabe, Clinton, without political will. All of this serves to increase the political momentum, political will, and outrage among Republicans. As of until recently, we've had Republicans who have been, oh my goodness, well, you know what? We don't want to anger the Democrats because Brennan and Comey and McCabe and all of them stated that Russia influenced the election. Now we know it's a bunch of nonsense, that Mueller is investigating phantoms and ghosts, and basically Mueller is a, $17 to $20 million Democratic Party political operation. It's not about Trump Russia. It's not about Trump Russia. It's never been about Trump Russia because Trump never worked with Russia. So, and that's the thing. So now you have... So you have Hillary Clinton's cheating Bernie Sanders and then spending $1.2 billion down the drain, just throwing it all down the drain, losing. They couldn't win. They had every single advantage. They have all the polls, all the media behind them. They still couldn't win. And then they blamed Russia after they cheated. They blamed Russia for cheating them. And there's still no evidence. They have no evidence of anything. Zero evidence of anything. And you have a situation where the DOJ is like, nah, we're not going to give you documents. This, mind you, is Rosenstein, the number 2 in the DOJ, not only helped fire Comey, which destroys the whole I mean, the IG report recently destroys the whole Comey thing, the obstruction nonsense. Though, oh, no, Trump obstructed justice by firing Comey. Even before the IG report came out, yesterday, we find out that Comey broke protocol and he should have been fired a long time ago. But Rosenstein, the number 2, Rod Rosenstein, at the DOJ, is not only responsible for firing Comey, but also the worst thing you could ever think of, using Comey's notes that are classified, not even memos that are just gossip. So he helped use the Steele dossier. He used the Steele dossier to further a FISA warrant. So he signed off on a FISA warrant based on a phony, bogus, fake news, gossip-filled Steele dossier with zero BuzzFeed suing the DNC. And then Rosenstein used Comey's memos, which are filled of gossip and nonsense, almost certainly lies. It doesn't even matter whether it's someone's opinion. They're using someone's hearsay, gossip, viewpoint, and opinion without any evidence to conduct not only the FISA, to justify not only the FISA warrants. Steele dossier was a complete garbage document purchased by Hillary Clinton, by the way, with Russian sources. You want to talk about collusion. But also Comey's memos, which is the recollections of a raving liar, to start the Mueller probe. And the Mueller probe then went on and tried and just destroyed a whole bunch of people's lives. For what purpose? And you have the DOJ. It's like, nah, we're not going to give you the documents you've requested, you subpoenaed, that have been subpoenaed. So it's a whole bunch of nonsense. But on the bright side, the IG report's coming out. You have political will. You already have Comey outed as somebody who broke protocol. You have Andrew McCabe. And breaking protocol then now leads to other questions like, what about criminal behavior? How did you overlook the fact that classified intelligence was found on Anthony Weiner's laptop? How did you overlook so many of these issues that Mueller won't allow? If Mueller is like, give me your phones, and they allow phones to be just destroyed and broken and obliterated during the Clinton email investigation, why is there this difference? So you have that into play. But you have McCabe asking for immunity deals. You have the Awan brothers asking for immunity deals. You have a whole bunch of issues going on. Give me your thoughts below. By the way, I have a HA Second Amendment channel. Definitely subscribe there. If you're into firearms, you're into the Second Amendment. It's a new gun channel abiding by YouTube policies. And it's awesome. I try a Glock 17. A Glock 30 SF and a Glock 36 45 ACP. Those are the 2 latest segments on HA Second Amendment. So definitely hit subscribe if you're interested and if you appreciate the Second Amendment. So that's my new channel. It's almost at 4,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. We're almost at 120,000 subscribers on this channel. Let's get this channel growing. Tell your friends about H.A. Goodman on YouTube, especially when there's going to be this immense propaganda blitz. I've already explained they're going to twist. If the extent of James Comey's misconduct is relegated to simply, he shouldn't have written the Comey letter, well, then definitely watch this channel because I'll explain the reality of the situation. The reality is that it was a failed cover-up. So don't worry about how watered down the DOJ IG report is. By the way, it's June 14th. It comes out, then June 18th is the actual testimony from Michael Horowitz. But even if it's watered down, it's still going to be used as a stepping stone for people like Ron DeSantis, Lee Zeldin, Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, Devin Nunes, all of these Republicans that have, courage and guts, and they want to fight. They want to fight. On a side note, only 5 of 18 progressive candidates advanced to the general elections the other day. in the primaries. So only 5 of 18 from Bernie-inspired organizations. And I say this with all due respect because I used to be progressive and I used to really, really care about what went on there. But nobody, I mean, a lot of people really didn't like my message. My message was fight back politically and peacefully. Do what Trump would have done. If Trump was cheated, he would have bit the head off would have done like an Alice Cooper or no Ozzy Osbourne. Bit the head off a chicken or a pigeon or whatever. A bat. I don't even know what the urban legend is. I don't even know. I think it actually it wasn't an urban legend. Anyway, Trump would never have stood for it ever, ever, ever in a million years. He would never have stood for it. He would never have stood for it. Bernie not only stood for it, he allowed himself to just be completely utilized by Clinton. He was cheated. Even if he signed an agreement, he could have just been like, you know what, this is a profanity alert. Do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. Do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. Bernie Sanders could have been like, fuck off and fuck you. I am going ahead and I'm going to not vote for Clinton. She cheated me. Debbie Wasserman Schultz cheated me. By the way, there's an A1 scandal. By the way, there's Trump, Russia's complete nonsense. And I'm not going to abide by DNC and Democratic Party nonsense. And the mentality was, well, try to get the Democrats on your side. They don't care. They're power hungry. They only cared about power. That's all they care about. They don't care even about Trump. The Democratic Party's biggest concern is controlling its own people, its own voters. That's why they exist. It's a money laundering scheme. They don't care. The Clinton Foundation and the Democratic Party run on donations. They don't run on value system. You think if they cared so much about climate change, why would they take so much money from oil and gas corporations? Why wouldn't they have a green economy out there? Why only 5 of 18 actual progressives who were like, green economy, ban fracking, and then Medicare for all, forget about that. They don't care about single payer. I've been trying to say to progressives, well, whatever. Like, if you're progressive, you watch this channel, know that I love you and I care about you and I thank you for watching and still dealing with me. Because I have people who are like, first his gun channel, then his impressions of Brennan and Sessions. I can't stand him anymore. But if you're watching progressive, thank you. I appreciate you very much for just continuing to watch me. I'm voting for Trump 2020. And that's part of the reason, in addition to, peace between North and South Korea, which is a fantastic thing. Exposing FBI agents, corrupt FBI agents, fantastic thing. Is that you dismantle peacefully and politically the Democratic Party. The economy is good too, but progressives, Justice Democrats and Our Revolution, only 5 of 18 advanced. 5 of 18. That's not the Bernie Sanders movement. That little moment in time where that bird went down on his podium was a powerful moment, and we're not going to have that again for a long, long time, because that moment is motivated or sparked by a person who says F you to the system. Could be left or right. Trump said that. He might be part of the system, but he's still telling the system to F off. That's what Democrats and people who don't like him don't understand. He fights. He fights back. The intelligence community, a bunch of liars, they're trying to hurt him. He's fighting back. But when you're hurt in life, you fight back. You don't just acquiesce. Bernie should have fought back. He should have fought back. He should have $200 million stolen from your voters, and you just, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for Clinton because I don't want to be blamed. You're still blamed. There isn't, and this is all due respect, there's no more progressive movement, quote unquote. There's no Bernie movement anymore. If the polls show that he's the most popular candidate in America, those polls don't factor in the reality that Democrats hate him with a passion. Establishment Democrats hate Bernie Sanders far more than they hate Trump. They'll pretend to like Bernie, but if he's a threat in any way, in 2020 in any way, they will descend upon him. And progressives will not fight back. The only way to fight back is to say, I'm voting for Trump, or I'm not voting for you. You dare cheat our candidate, I'm not voting for you. And the whole mentality is, well, you circle the wagons. You can't have Trump win. You have Trump win. Democrats are not going to do well in the 2018 midterms. Already, Republicans have done a lot better than expected. They weren't supposed to do that well in the primaries, and they did the other day. And the polls, they were down to 3.2 points. And now, of course, there's these, same thing with Clinton. 14 points up. Wow, really? How did you go from 3 points to 14 points? And you got Trump with meeting Kim Jong-un and peace between North and South Korea around the corner. And you have the Inspector General coming out. How did that happen? That's interesting. Really? Who are you asking? A focus group of Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Donna Brazile and Tom Perez? Yeah, well, they're going to tell you that Democrats are up by 30. Or Chelsea Clinton, a focus group of Bill and Chelsea Clinton. But, I mean, the progressive movement, I'm not saying it's done in terms of individuals, their aspirations, their goals. It's done in terms of political influence. There is no more political influence. Bernie's movement is done. I was saying since 2015, you had to fight. That's why the Daily Beast and all these people wrote hit pieces on me, because they saw me as this crazy person who was threatening in some way. Because I was not towing the party line. I was saying, look, you have to oppose Clinton. And if need be, you have to not vote for her. And people who voted for Trump, more power to them. Because they should have taught the Democratic Party a lesson. Once Democrats lose enough times, they'll realize that they actually have to stand for something. And once there's a progressive candidate like Bernie, I think Tulsi is the person who fights, who will not take being cheated, then the progressive movement will be a factor again. Or at least somebody like Bernie can rise up. But you can't have somebody who doesn't fight and refuse to side with the establishment. If the establishment knows that you'll side with them even after they cheat you, what incentive do they have not to cheat you? That's why Republicans were petrified of Trump. They're like, what's he going to do? Oh my God. And Trump's like, if you cheat me, I'm going to destroy you. That's what Trump was like. I will say profanity alert. Do not listen if you don't want to hear profanity. Trump was like, I will fucking destroy you if you cheat me. And then he won. And he won. Because people respect that kind of person, especially in politics. And especially if you stand for something. Not everything Trump stands for I like. But wasn't Clinton a flawed candidate? So yeah, I want the intelligence community to be exposed if indeed they're committing crimes, which we know McCabe has, and Comey has, and Brennan and Clapper. They're all liars. I want peace between North and South Korea. I want a less hawkish foreign policy. Rand Paul, by the way, today just exposed John Brennan. It's hilarious. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Share this segment everywhere. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And thank you so much for listening. Hit subscribe right now.